came to win, to fight, to conquer, to thrive. I came to win, to survive, to prosper, to rise, to fly.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the Pursuit of Extraordinary. I'm Jeremy Freeman.
And I'm Kim Freeman.
And we look forward to giving you a lot of great information that will help you move toward a more extraordinary life. It has been our constant mission for years to help people be their absolute best, their best version of them, so they can live a more extraordinary life. And of course, in this series, what we want to do is give you information that you can apply in your life to live a better life.
And I think that's something that's really important today. Everybody has motivation. You can find it, scroll through your Facebook feed, your Instagram feed. Everybody's got quotes and motivation and basically like what you should be doing. Right. We've been coaching people for a really, really long time. I don't want to say how old we are, but for a long time.
20 years.
And so one of the things that we've learned is it's great to have information, but if you don't have a strategy or if you don't have a protocol to follow and a structure, a system to follow, you can pretty much kiss that motivation goodbye because it's here today and gone tomorrow. So there's specific things that you need to do in order to succeed in life. Basically, I always play this game, winning or losing, or like back in the old days, we used to look through a magazine and we'd say like, love it or hate it. I feel like that's what Instagram is. Like you love it or you hate it. Love it and I like it. Or hate it and I don't like it and I keep scrolling. But basically, like if you think about your life kind of that way, are you winning or are you losing? Are you winning in life or are you losing in life? And if you're not where you want to be, well, then you're not winning. And so I think that that's some of the things that this particular podcast, The Pursuit of Extraordinary, is specifically about how to win in your life. And what winning to you is completely different than it is to me. But knowing what that is and then being able to I guess go after that full force, all.
Yeah, with everything you got. The bottom line is a lot of people are motivated, like she said, but when you're taking action, long after that motivation, has gone, and you're still going after it. Okay, that right there is what creates success. Because we have different times of motivation. We're not motivated all the time. So again, you have to create that bigger idea of what excites you. Go after it and make it something that you do consistently day in and day out so that you start making steps toward that. It becomes part of your daily habits, your daily behaviors. That's what's going to create success. So again, everybody, like she said also, everybody has a different idea of what success is to them. So, you have to really get clear on what it is that you want. Okay, clarity is required. So, in talking about, trying to move toward your overall goal, whatever it is, first and foremost, you have to have a goal. You have to know what it is. A lot of people are just sick of talking about goals. Okay, if you look at the statistics show that only 2% of 98% of people that set goals even achieve them. So of course, a lot of people are like, forget about it. I'm not going to do it. The bottom line is that what makes us happy? Okay, what makes us happy in life is growth. Okay, everybody wants growth. Okay, when we're growing, we're happy.
And that's one of the things that we look at is we look at headlines and we look at what's kind of the trends and what's influencing media and what's influencing our clients. We have had thousands of clients over the years and what's influencing them. And it used to be about being better. And it used to be about getting in shape. And it used to be about setting goals and achieving your goals. That's where we come from. We excel in that. We're great at that. We love that. Yeah. But unfortunately, the world isn't doing that anymore. They've kind of moved on from setting goals. People don't want to talk about goals because what if they don't achieve them? They don't want to feel bad.
We're kind of moving to an area of, they say have mindfulness, be present here right now. But also they're talking about...
Which we agree with. We totally agree with.
Absolutely. But again, when you're being mindful of right here, right now, what are you doing right now that's going to change what's happening in your next moment? Okay, so if you're mindful of what's going on right now, then what is it you're going to do? What are the steps you're going to take? What are the actions that you're going to take that will change what's happening later on? Just being mindful of what's going on right now doesn't do anything. Okay, yeah, you know what's going on, but again, you have to do something in this moment that changes your next moment, and that's what mindfulness is. But also we're in a day and age where where there's a lot of minimalists. Okay, minimalist meaning that get by on the bare minimum. And small houses, and like you've seen the shows,
Yes, yes,
tiny
yes.
house and all those different things. What happens is, it makes it so that you don't have to, you don't want to work or give your life away for work. The bottom
But
line
they don't
is,
want to trade dollars, you don't want to trade dollars for hours, basically.
Yeah,
is kind of
exactly.
the
Your time
idea.
for
Nobody wants to trade dollars for hours unless you really have some stuff packed into your hours. You're really productive, and
So,
that's a different story.
Exactly. So what happens is it creates a minimalist mindset. And so when you have a minimalist mindset or a middle of the road mindset, you're never going to try to achieve more. Okay, you're gonna end up just getting by, and you're never going to really live a full extraordinary life of what's capable for you. And that's what we want to show you, is what's capable for you. How do you really upgrade your life? How do you really take it to the next level? And that's what we've done in our life, and we want to be able to show other people how to do that in their lives, how to be able to take control of their future and to do what they love to do. So when you get up in the morning, you can't wait to go after whatever it is that's going to create growth in your life. And when you create growth, you create happiness in your life as well.
And that's something that's really huge right now. If you're looking at the trends and you're looking at, the topics that are trending in social media and magazines and media, happiness, the joy of, what is happiness and how to create joy in your life. And what happens is everyone takes goals and says that is not the way to create happiness. But what it is the growth. It's growth. And whatever way you want to label it, Jeremy talks about a lot of times ice and water and steam and how it's all the same thing, but it's just what you want to call it. I feel like goals are that.
Forms, yeah.
Right, it's different forms, but I feel like that goals are kind of that same thing. In order to create happiness, you have to have something you're shooting for. And so when we talk about growth, that's what we're talking about, creating happiness in your life, learning how to appreciate what you have in your life so that you can work towards having more of it, whether it's money, whether it's relationships, whether it's your relationship with your husband and your wife,
Right.
with your children.
Being
with
healthier, more fit.
Yes. And so having more health in your life,
More energy.
having more energy in your life. And one of the things that we've seen over the years, working with all the thousands of clients that we've had, is that they're not clear on what they want
Yes.
in order to appreciate what they have, to be happier. Do you agree with that?
I do agree. I think that, again, we've sat down with thousands of people, and when you ask them what they want, very, very few are clear on what they want. So, one of the things I want to talk about today, is there's three things specifically. Number one, and I've spoken to a number of large companies, and when I ask them questions about health, fitness, wellness, mindset, and when I ask them one of the reasons why they don't exercise or do the things that they need to do to be able to get in better shape, a lot of people say, well, I don't have enough energy. That's one of the things. And of course, the other excuse they usually use is because of uncertainty. They're not really sure what to do. But what I want to talk about is I want to start with energy, because I do seminars that are on energy as well, and energy is everything. Energy it's not made or destroyed; it's only transferred. A good example is that if you take a piece of fruit or a piece of food, that right there is chemical energy. And when you consume it, okay, you take that energy in, and now it becomes mechanical energy. Okay, from moving, helps movement. Okay, from there, let's say you're exercising, that's the movement you're doing, you start creating heat and sweat, and that creates thermic energy. So again, the energy keeps transferring, keeps moving all over the place. Okay, and so when we think about energy, energy again is always transferred. So if we think in terms of energy, okay, how do we amplify the energy in our lives, okay, to be able to get more out of our lives? One of the excuses that people use also is they don't have enough time.
Right.
Okay, and of course, we all have the same amount of time. So how do we get more out of that time?
Well, I think that's an important point too, because if you talk to somebody who is highly successful, highly motivated, they're in the top % of their company or in their business, they never complain about time. They never ever complain about time, and they probably have the least amount of time. I'll tell you, I've worked with moms for years and years and years, and I've worked with women. One of the things that they always say is that they don't have time. But you're normally talking about moms that aren't going to work. Some go to work, probably half and half. I will say half are at work and half are at home. The people who are the busiest seem to be the ones who never complain about time. It's the ones who aren't packing in their hours that seem to complain about time. For example, Let me talk about my mom for a second. My mom doesn't work anymore. She's retired. She stays home. She doesn't really have a lot of hobbies. She gardens in the summer, and that's really about it. And she's the one who will always tell you she doesn't have time and that she has a very highly stressful life, and she has no stress and massive amounts of time, but in her mind, she doesn't have any, therefore she doesn't. So
Right.
I think starting with that, realizing that the people who are performing more never complain about time because they've learned
They've
to
learned how to
manage
utilize,
it.
how to manage it, and the thing about it is, you can't really, when you stop thinking about managing time and so you think about managing your emotions, the
that's
things
good,
you
Jerry.
think and thought is the origin of every outcome. I'm just going to say that again. Thought is the origin of every outcome. So let's say in your mom's case, when she sits there and focuses on how she doesn't have time and how she's not happy with most of the things in her life, okay, those thoughts that she's having create chemicals in your body that will either make you reactive in a more of a stress state, or they'll make you happy and content. So, what happens is most people live in this simulated stress state. And of course, a stress state is where you are reactive to things. So you're getting anxious, your body's producing cortisol. That cortisol is pushing the blood out of the prefrontal cortex where you think clearly, and it's pushing it to the back of the brain where you're more reactive. Okay, so what's happening is, this happens with a lot of people, they live in that simulated stress state. So if we go back to thought, okay, thought is the origin of every outcome. So in your mom's case, okay, the way she thinks about it, the way she perceives her world is what creates her outcome. And it's the same thing with the person that is a business professional that has been doing the same things day in and day out, and they know what their purpose is and they're moving toward it. Okay, they know what they're going toward, they're specific in what they're doing, they're focused on what they're doing, and again, there's a certain way that they think that helps them get a different outcome. So we're not going to get totally into thought today. I love that topic, but what we are going to talk about is how do we amplify our energy? Okay, we need more energy, number one. When you have more energy, okay, and you actually know what it is you want, okay, when you're clear on what you want, you're focused, okay, that right there is what creates results. So if you ask people what they want in their life, they want more energy, okay?
Absolutely.
And they want to, of course, do more with that energy. They also want to move towards something that makes them happy, gives them fulfillment. Okay, they need focus, they need clarity. Again, talking to thousands of people that we've talked to, a lot of them don't have clarity on what it is that they want. Okay, but when you have more energy, when you have clarity and focus, and you're moving toward what it is that you want, that right there is what creates results. Okay, we also all want more results in our life. Okay, when you think about, when people talk about, when we say, what do you want? What do you want? If you want more in your life, they say, oh, I want a bigger house, or I want,
I want to make more money, I want to have a nicer car, I want to have, it's all
better
it is.
relationships,
Yeah.
I want to be in better shape, I want to get a smaller waistline. The bottom line is they want more results or better results in their life than they're getting right now. Okay, so energy, focus, or clarity, and results. Okay, those three things go hand in hand. And so, if somebody were to ask me, how do I obtain, or how do I get into a mental state to be more productive? One of the reasons why I produced Upgrade, our ultimate brain formula, was specifically to be able to help with those things. So I'm not going to go through a full tutorial of Upgrade right now, but Upgrade does help elevate your energy because it gets the brain firing on all cylinders. And when your brain is on, your whole body's on. It's not an energy product, but it helps you have great energy.
Okay, let me backtrack for a minute, because if anybody was watching this, I'd be like, okay, upgrade your life, and now you're talking about products, so you're selling me product, right? So tell me a little bit, or tell us a little bit about why you created Upgrade and where it came from, because it's too salesy kind of feeling. And so I want you to be able to explain about Upgrade, like why did you create it? Where did this product come from? And why was it necessary for you to create?
Okay, well, let me just start with, I've been a constant learner since high school. I've always been reading, I've always been studying, I always wanted to know more about the human body. I went to college and I studied the hard sciences and advanced human biology, biochemistry, cellular biology. I love science, okay, and what I really love is biochemistry. And so I've worked with a lot of other companies and helped them in development of their products and of course promotion of their products as well. And so, Kim has always told me, you need to produce your own product line. And so at Well-Rounded Health and Fitness, we've always had a lot of great clients, and we've always recommended supplements. And so whenever I'd look at supplements, I'd say, this is okay, but it would be better if they had this or that. And I always was trying to, put together a good combination of supplements that I know would help our clientele. And so we started producing products, that would work specifically for our clients. So out of client need, is the reason why I started developing specific products, because we'd have our transformation programs, and we'd have people that we'd want to help keep them healthy during a program. So we started developing those specific supplements for them. And we only sold them in-house. It wasn't for a broad audience. It was just in-house.
Right.
And so with Upgrade, what I found is that we have a lot of business owners, business professionals that come to us. The one thing that I found was energy again. A lot of people suffered from not having enough energy. And of course, when they started exercising, they would feel better, and of course, the energy would elevate and all that. And they'd eat cleaner foods, and of course, increase energy as well. But for me, I wanted to create a product that just kind of got the brain a little more active, so that you could think a little clearer, so you could stay a little more focused, and you can get more done. And so it took me about 1.5 years of a lot of research, studying the brain, how the brain operates, even studying different diseases that deteriorated the brain, like dementia and Alzheimer's, studying post-stroke victims and how they would come back and how they could create new rewiring within the brain to function back in society, things like that. So again, a lot of studying, a lot of research, and so once I came up with the formulation, which was tweaked a number of times, it was really developed to be able to help increase productivity and to help increase clarity and focus.
It was developed to be a brain formula.
Yes, a brain formula.
So when you see this, it doesn't look like a brain formula, and no one thinks about this as a brain formula, but basically, this is a brain formula. This is created to help your brain now, and definitely to protect it and help it later, right?
Right. So initially, it wasn't necessarily produced to be able to have an instant result right now, but that's exactly what it did. So when I had my first initial samples of this product, it was actually in pill form. And so when I got the samples, I came home from work one night and I had them, and I couldn't wait to take them. So I actually took it in the afternoon. And one of the things that I had been working on for about 15 years at that time was a book that I was writing that was called Don't Waste a Minute. Okay, so 15 years to write a book called Don't Waste a Minute. So
you really needed to read that
I
book.
Really did. The thing about it is that with that book, I could only usually work on it like certain times of the year. So it was like between November and December, and so that it was during that time. And so I took those pills, and I was going through the book, and I was reading some of my content that I had written, sometimes 10 years earlier. And my problem was organization of the content, because I had written so many things, and I kind of because sometimes I wouldn't work on it for 6 or 7 months, and then I'd work on it again for a little bit. It was very sporadic. So long story short, I took these pills, and probably about an hour to hour and a half into this, I was just like separating things out and saying, okay, that doesn't make sense anymore. I need to add this to this. And I was literally laying it out, organizing it, and literally just, I was on point. I ended up working on this book all night long, nonstop. I got more done probably in that single night than I had probably the 5 years previous. And so I just felt like I was just on track. And then, of course, I get up early and go to work about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I literally worked all night long and just went straight to work. And I didn't feel tired because of the fact that I was so excited I got so much work done. I actually couldn't wait to get back home again the next night. And so I got home the next night, and instead of sleeping, I was like, I just want to work on this book again because I'm finally making some headway with it. And so I took some more of the pills. And I, again, worked right through the night and get a ton done again. This time I'm writing more than I'm segmenting and throwing things out, and just making more sense of what I was trying to put out there. And so, of course, the next night I had to sleep. But the bottom line is I was like, wow, this is amazing. This works great. And I had never been quite so focused or just directed on exactly what I needed to do, and then also have clarity of what I needed to do as well. So that kind of was, I knew I was onto something. Here was the issue. The product was extremely expensive, even in pill form. It was 30 capsules, and I think that my price for me was like $36 or $38, I think, and that was like before packaging. So, I realized, man, if I'm going to sell this product, I'm going to have to at least double the price, so it's going to be like close to $80
right.
for me to be able to produce it. And people aren't sitting there thinking that they need to produce,
Well, we started doing research. We started researching brain products that were on the shelf and the price points, which were similar in price points.
Yeah.
They were all in the $70, $80 range,
Yeah.
but they didn't move. Nobody cared. So unfortunately,
Yeah, most
no one
people-
cared about their brain until it was too late, until there was
Right.
already issues.
Exactly.
So for a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old to start taking products for their brain, at that time, nobody was interested in doing it. It wasn't a vanity product. It wasn't something like, I would take it today and tomorrow I'm going to look better, or I'm not going to have a wrinkle, or my brain's going to function like tomorrow better. And so what was happening is we realized that in that marketplace, as a brain functional product, nobody cared.
Yeah, exactly. People will do more for their teeth than they will for their brain, and they're afraid to do anything to their brain. Oh no, I don't want to do. I don't want to do anything to my brain. And the bottom line is, the brain is what runs everything. Okay, so you need to protect your brain.
And starting now, no matter what age you are, starting now.
Absolutely. So again, this product was designed not only to protect your brain, it has brain protectants in it, but it also helps to fuel the brain, and it also helps to overcome stress and to help realign the adrenals. So, a lot of those energy products that are out there, they downregulate your system and they cause adrenal fatigue.
Wait, go back. So you just went from the brain to energy.
I did, because what happens is when the brain is on and it's firing on all cylinders, you have energy. Okay, the brain is what dictates what happens to the rest of the cells in your body. So when you're thinking, clearer, and you have, every one of you out there, everybody has had a project that you've been involved with, where that's the only thing you're focused on. Okay, nothing else seems to matter. You're not even thinking about eating anything, and time just seems to fly by. Okay, so when your brain's on, you feel like you have plenty of energy, you just keep going, going, going. Will you hit the wall eventually? Yes, you will. But the bottom line is, you've all had it so that your brain was just firing, it's just on.
Right.
Okay, and so your whole body's on as well. So that's really what this product is developed to do. And so, so yes, it does go back to energy, because energy is required. Okay, but when the brain's on, the whole body's on, and energy is amplified. So, so with this product, it really, helped make that difference. So when I looked at it, I said, okay, I can't spend the marketing money to teach people that they need to work on their brain. So, so again, I just said, what if we were to make it into a liquid and we were to put it in a bottle like this? Okay, everybody knows, 5, 6, 7 years ago that, 5-Hour Energy was the #1 energy product on the market. I'm not sure if it is nowadays, but the bottom line is it screamed energy. So putting in this product, everybody wants energy. So I said, well, you know what? This gives good energy, but even though it's a brain product, okay, and it has way more it has great benefits, and it's made to work with your body rather than against it. It doesn't shut the system down. Okay, it helps to fuel it and amplifies it.
So if I'm taking brain pills, I would take enough for, I would get them for a month, right?
Yeah,
And so
month supply.
about a month's supply in a bottle. So I would need 2 of these for a month's supply, approximately?
Yeah, probably, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And is that the dosage, the way that you would recommend people to use it?
You know what? It's different for different people. The majority of people that take Upgrade need at least a bottle a day. Okay, a bottle a day does a trick. And maybe even if it's a half in the morning and half in the afternoon, it does the trick. Some people like to just drink 1 full bottle at a time. But the bottom line is it has 900 milligrams of alpha GPC. I'm not going to get into the ingredients here because people's eyes glaze over, but again, that right there is the most bioavailable form of choline that can pass through the blood-brain barrier and, of course, wake up the brain. And choline helps increase neurotransmitter transmission and synapses response. So you're sending the signal quicker and delivering it faster. So again, you're just on point. Okay, and so that right there is a key ingredient, and of course that is the same thing that your body's depleted of. Okay, when somebody has Alzheimer's dementia, they have a depletion of that choline. So
would you recommend giving this to somebody like that?
I absolutely would recommend it to give it to somebody that has Alzheimer's or dementia. We have a number of clients that do take it for that, and they have excellent results. So definitely recommend it for that. It wasn't created for that though, but again, it was created for that busy individual that just wanted to get more out of their life and wanted to be able to just, take things to that next level. And, the thing about it is it wasn't even designed to be able to work so great right now, but to work on the brain over time. Okay, so not only does it work good...
I would say you feel it within a half an hour of taking it.
You
feel a difference. And somebody had wrote a review that they can, what was it, they can see sound?
I can, see sound.
And hear.
Yeah.
I forget what it is. You can see sound
like
and hear thoughts. And,
yes.
and it's funny because the people who take it, you kind of get that. Like I always feel like I can see a little bit clearer.
Yeah.
I can hear a little bit better. And I'm just like better. I'm just better.
You're just a better version of you. That's the bottom line. That's the best way to explain it. You are a better version of you. And so the interesting thing about this, to go back to the story of when I was using it initially, I actually finished up my book in 2-week period of time, going through spurts of intervals where I take the product and I would just keep going, and I ended up finishing the book. And then I submitted the book to a publisher, or an editor, I'm sorry, and the editor's like, this is like 12 books. It's been, again, it's 15 years, but it was just too much. And so we ended up breaking that down into a number of different segments that ended up being a number of different messages. So a lot of you out there who've seen, our building blocks, that's what that book is based on.
Right,
and I broke it down into,
yeah,
exactly. So we'll get into that.
Okay, all right, so this really feels like a commercial now. So going back to how to upgrade your life, why is this so important? Why is a product so important to upgrading your life?
Well, it's important for a few things. Number one, people they're not eating the way they should eat consistently.
Right.
Okay, they're not doing everything that they can to amplify their energy. They're not eating, green, healthy, clean foods all the time. They're not drinking enough water. I mean, let's just talk about water alone. Okay, when you're dehydrated by just 1%, you lose 7% of your strength. And most people are chronically dehydrated.
Right.
So again, if we look at, again, how do we amplify energy? Not everybody, the majority of people are not doing anywhere near what they need to do to be able to keep that energy up. So, energy first and foremost. This product gives you energy. It helps give you energy. Although it's not an energy or stimulant-based product. So again, you're working with your body. You're fueling your body. Number two, there's an ingredient here called shashandrol. Shashandrol is an adaptogen. An adaptogen is an herb that helps you more adequately deal with stress. Okay, there's thousands of different studies done on shashandrol. Shashandrol is amazing because it helps to push the blood back into the prefrontal cortex, where you have clear, concise thinking, where you have more creative thought. Okay, and of course it can help you focus better. So again, the studies on there are incredible, and they consistently show that people have better focus when taking this.
So let me stop you for a second, because working with moms and working with women, one of the things that I always relate to energy is patience. So we have Alex, who's 10 years old, and we have identical twin girls that are 3 years old. And so as a mom, about 4:30, 5 o'clock is when I'm at my worst. That is the time of day that I need time out. Mom needs time out away from everybody. I need alone time. I need to get myself together. And I know that when I don't have energy, my patience is gone. And I know that that time of the day is when things start happening again. Everybody's out of work, dinner starts happening, sports start happening, homework. And to be a good parent at 5 o'clock after you've worked all day long and you've gotten done what you need to get done, hopefully, and then to be able to have the energy and the patience to listen to a story about something that you really don't care a real lot about at that time,
right,
I think becomes something. And I think for moms, this becomes like a little secret helper to be able to deal with, not just to deal with your kids, but to connect with them and to listen to them and want to be part of what they're doing and to care. I always feel like that's the time of the day when I really need to be a good mom, and that's the time that I'm the most tired.
Yeah, I mean, so going back to the shashandrol it's an adaptogen. Again, it helps you more adequately deal with stress. So those situations, become more stressful sometimes. So I think that, it's great for a mom. It's great for anybody that just really wants to have better performance and get more out of what they're doing.
Right.
And so for me, I've always been that person where I know that if I can make incremental change every day, every day has got to count. You always heard me say it for years. It's been don't waste a minute, or make today count. And I think that if we can just make a difference and just move that needle a little bit today, and then again tomorrow, and then again the next day, then what happens is you start making progress and making change. So you have to have purpose and a goal every day to help
be
move
focused
you
to moving forward
exactly,
every day.
to making progress. And of course, that's why I said, listen, let's start with upgrade, because the bottom line is I know this product is going to help people, and this isn't an infomercial. The bottom line is, I'm speaking from my heart because I do use the product every day. I recommend it to anybody, not just because it's my product. I developed the product because I knew it would help me. I developed because I knew it would help my family. I knew that it would help, other people, our team.
It when we have a project to do. Everybody uses it when we have a brainstorming meeting, when we have, basically I think anything that we need to be focused, we need ideas to flow, and we need to, like Jeremy said, move that needle today, right now.
Yeah.
This is what we use to do that. And I always say, like, if you want to be successful, you follow what successful people do.
Yes.
Like
exactly.
you need a role model. You need somebody that says, hey, I've done that. I've already done it. Follow my path. I've done it. And I think that that's one of the things that we can bring very easily is our pursuit of extraordinary. We've achieved a lot of things in our life, both of us,
Sure.
Independently and together. And then our clientele with what we've helped them to accomplish in
Absolutely.
their life. And we
Yeah.
have a lot of success and a lot of experience behind us. And this is one of those things that helps us to make progress in our own individual lives, in the lives of the thousands of clients that we've helped, and in the lives of the millions of clients that are using the product and the testimonials that we get in. And you'll see those. You're going to see a ton of them this year. We have so much in store for how to help people make more progress this year.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I think that, so again, I'm going to go back to upgrade because a lot of people think, okay, like you said, it's not a commercial. The bottom line is, my intention was, I want to talk about upgrade because I know that if you guys take it, you're going to have better productivity. You're going to get more done. Okay, you can actually get that blood from back here and being reactive to up here, and you can sit down and just write down on paper what is it that I want. What can I get? Can I get clear? So again, we talk about energy. This will give you energy. It helps give you energy. Okay, along with a lot of other things that you need to do. But again, this will help you get energy, and it'll help you have better clarity of thought. It'll get that blood right up here so you have creative thought, and you can focus on what it is that you want. I recommend for anybody out there just to sit down and write down.
Let's talk about that for a minute. So if you were to
Best
make
case
this
scenario.
into tips and tools and strategies for someone to be successful, give me your top 5 in order. Can you do it in order without thinking about it too much?
Tips?
Yes. Top 5 tips of what I need to do today in order to be more successful in my life.
Number one, you got to get clear. Okay, you have to know what you want. Okay, what happens is some people, so many people, they want one thing today and they want something else tomorrow.
That's
Okay,
so
we
true.
live in a world where
If it doesn't happen immediately,
our
we're on
attention's
something
pulled all
else.
over the place. Okay, and if you just think about your phone, if you just live by your phone all day long, one second it's dinging and you're checking out a text and you're texting back. A few seconds later, you're looking at an email. Next thing you're looking at FaceTime or one of those things or Facebook,
Instagram,
Instagram, whatever it is. The bottom line is
Twitter.
we're pulled all over the place consistently, and so is our direction, or our focus on what it is that we want in our lives. I know people that one day they want to go to school for this, the next day they want to instead they're all over the place.
Yeah.
There's changes constantly. So the bottom line is it's kind of
So
like
would you
saying,
say write a specific amount of goals and then go back and maybe narrow down your top 5 goals that you have to achieve? Like those are the things that drive you, your number one motivators?
A lot of people say, write down 25, write down 30. You can write down a ton of goals that you have. The bottom line is you only want to go after one. Okay, focus is going after one thing at a time. Okay, so if you can focus on just one thing and put all those other things in the back burner until you have achieved that one thing and then move on to the next most important thing, you're going to find that you make progress incredibly faster than just anybody else out there, because everybody else is like, well, I can multitask. Well, there's studies out there, tons of studies out there that show
We're going to be putting these on some of our social media.
Actually slows you down. It does not speed you up. It's like the
It
old
breaks
saying.
down the brain. There's a whole
does.
study on it. I'll
Makes you
put it out
stupider.
for you guys. It's stupider.
Stupider word?
I don't know. I
Who
love
knows?
it. I'm going to use it from now on. I used to always say that sugar makes you dumb and fat. So now we'll say multitasking makes you stupider.
Yeah, so okay, no multitasking. So again, just come up with that one specific thing that if you were to do it and you were to work on it, what is it? Is it going to better your life? Okay, that one thing that's going to help move you closer in the direction of where you want to be. Whether it's being in better shape, whether it's having a better relationship, having more money, making your business grow, whatever it is. Okay, you focus on that one thing and keep going, until you've completed it.
Okay, so that's one. We have about 5
clarity.
minutes left,
Okay.
so I need you to wrap these up quickly. So number 1, get focused on one specific goal that you're going to go after. Having one goal very clear.
Right.
Number 2.
Number 2, you have to probably self-assess. Okay, where you are right now, and again, where you want to be. Okay, so
Winning or
self-assessment,
losing.
yeah, we're winning or losing, you know, and so
Play the game.
self-assessment is key, you know, so that you know where you are, where you want to be, and then of course from there you want to make sure that you put a plan into place. Okay?
Let me backtrack for a second, because I think that one of the things that I wanted to say too is like winning or losing. Okay, that's really, for a lot of people, I'm a very black and white person, and I think that in this podcast, this is going to be for people who want to basically be better in their life. They appreciate who they are, they love who they are, they're proud of who they are, but they're wanting to become more.
Yeah, you want more.
And so with that, I think to not candy coat and to kind of get our real life personality of what drives us and moves us is what you're going to feel and what you're going to see in this. And so when it comes to saying the politically correct thing, I don't want to say that. I want to make sure that, you know, it's our normal personality. So Jeramy's really, really nice, and he says things really, really nice. I'm not as nice as he is, but I'm nice, but I want to boil it down, and I want the quick version. We're 35 minutes into the podcast.
So, you know, let's just do this, okay? Well, we're going to just, you know, we just went through the first two things, okay? We're just going to stop this podcast right now, and you guys can continue on by listening to our next podcast to get the rest of the information.
Sneaky.
And to,
It's giving you the hook right here.
Yeah,
I love it.
The bottom line is, you know, if you guys want to know how to keep, you know, to make progress and move forward, okay, I just want to give you a system that you can put into place that helps move you in that direction. Okay, but what I want to just wrap up with real quickly is, first and foremost, take some time, okay, to write down, you know, what it is that you really want. Get clear on what you want, okay? Be very, very clear so that you can start focusing specifically on that one thing. Okay, and then of course I want you to sit down and self-assess yourself, okay, see where you are right now, and see what it is. When you're self-assessing yourself, okay, what are the things that are holding you back from actually going after or having what you want?
And you don't have to share that with anybody. I think a lot of times we do a lot of self-assessment, and we do it sometimes even with our team in a group. And I feel like people don't tell the truth. Like they don't tell themselves the truth.
We're the best at lying to ourselves.
Yeah. So, you know, how do you get real with self-assessment? If you have somebody, like a lot of times when we give some of our tests, you know, there's a let's say a 1 to 10, and they put themselves at the 10. And we all look at each other like, they're not a 10. What are they talking about? They're a 3.
Right.
But in their life, they think they're a 10, right?
Right.
So look, like, how do you get real with yourself? When do you kind of like get in the, you know, you get in your bedroom and you're real with yourself and you say, okay, I want to be a 10, and when everybody else is around, maybe I'll pretend like I'm a 10. But for real, I'm living at a 3, or I'm operating at a 3, or I've never really, like 10X, you know, a lot of people have read the 10X book, and Grant Cardone walks, right? And everybody's like, oh, I'm 10Xing. Well, Jeremy and I have had a very successful life. We've done a lot of work. We've done a lot of work in our life. I mean, for years. Yes. The two of us, the amount of work that we've done in our businesses is crazy. Almost, I feel like we had 10 years, a 10-year period of time that we never had a break. I never had a moment in my thoughts, in my writing, in my work, that I didn't take a break from well-rounded. And what well-rounded, what we could do, what was next, what's somebody doing, how do we do it better, what can we, you know, so in my thoughts, at least for a 10-year period, from 3:30 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, maybe even 9 o'clock at night, because I might take a nap and then I would get back up and I would start researching something new to bring to my clients. So with that, I don't ever feel that I 10X'd. Never. I don't even feel that we 5X'd.
No,
right?
You know, it's interesting. You know, listen, I'm a professional bodybuilder. I'm a professional dodgeball player. I'm a professional putt-putt golf player. I'm a professional at 3 different things, okay? But not only that, I've had 4 very successful businesses with real estate tacked onto there before. You know, and of course, it takes a lot of energy and effort, okay, and a lot of time and dedication. So when you think about 10Xing, you know, we've had this conversation. I'm like, geez, even in bodybuilding, I don't ever feel like I actually 10X it. I might have 2X or 3X, you know, I'm like, man, what if I actually did 10X,
right?
You know, and so
that assessment, I think,
assessment's key.
I think it's important to really take some time, take your upgrades so that you have truth, I feel like sometimes this is a little bit of truth serum.
It is a little bit, yeah. It
Yeah.
really is, yeah. There's no question that before I talk about managing emotion, not time.
Right.
The bottom line is, if we're always reacting to something, then we're not managing. We're managing our emotions are off, and we're reacting to everything. This right here kind of centers you and gets you so that you can manage your emotions and put your thoughts and your creative ability in a certain direction to be able to, again, have clarity so you can move toward it. So,
Right.
I'm going to recommend straight out that you listen, take half an upgrade, take a whole upgrade, sit down and start writing down. Okay, brainstorm. We use this for brainstorming all the time. It's amazing for that.
And if
okay?
you notice, one of the things that Jeremy keeps talking about is writing down. I think that's really,
Right,
really
we're gonna
important.
get into that. We're going to get into that.
Really important. That's a huge thing that you need to start incorporating, and I'll leave it at that.
Exactly. So take your upgrade, okay, and start writing down what it is you want. Get clear on what you want, okay, and then we're going to move into that in this next podcast coming up next time.
And start
So
assessing. Start
yes,
assessing your
assessing
life.
yourself as well.
Get real.
Okay. Yeah,
get in
what
the
are the things
mirror,
that are
get
holding you
naked, and
back?
start assessing, right?
That's exactly it, yeah. I mean, in whatever area it is, start assessing what it is that you're doing that's holding you back. What are your limiting beliefs that you have for why you don't think you can obtain something? So a lot of people have those that are holding them back.
Right.
So start assessing that. Write all that down, and then we'll kind of go through a few things to kind of help you overcome that in our next podcast. So, okay, you guys, hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure that you like us on Facebook, on Instagram, and all of our
Absolutely.
social media outlets, and share this with a friend. If you guys like this, leave your comments below.
Absolutely. If
We'd love
there's
to be able
something that you want us to talk about, a topic that you think is important that we can help you with, send us an email. Kim at Freeman Formula, Jeremy at Freeman Formula. You can contact us directly. You can find us on Instagram, Jeremy Freeman at Instagram. Mine is Kim Free. I'll tag it on some of the stuff because it's a little bit harder to find, but if you go to Freeman Formula, you will find us really easy.
So, okay, take every day, okay, and have purpose. Know what your purpose is in every day. Make incremental change every day. Okay, live every day.
To
Live
conquer,
greatness.
Greatness.
to
We'll see ya.
thrive, I came to